welcome to Living Room Theater. It's me, Kesa, and I am super stoked to make some theater with you today. So this video is a Greek myth movement video, and what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you a Greek myth, one of my absolute favorites, and then we're going to get up on our feet, do some movement, and play a game based on this story. So let's get started. So the story that I'm going to tell you today is about Medusa and the goddess Athena. You may have already heard about these characters. They're pretty popular in Greek mythology, and Athena is one of the Greek gods, so she's in a lot of different stories. So once upon a time, a long time ago, in a city called Athens in the country Greece, there lived a woman named Medusa, and Medusa was considered the most beautiful person in that village. Everybody knew it, and so did she. In fact, she was very proud of her beauty, and she would not stop talking about it. She would walk down the street and see various villagers and approach one and say something like, "Don't you think my hair just shines brighter than the sun itself?" Or, "Have you ever seen eyes so beautiful as mine?" When she wasn't talking to villagers, she would carry a mirror around and gaze at her reflection and just admire her beauty. So it was a bit excessive. One day, Medusa and some other villagers gathered at the Parthenon, which was a beautiful temple dedicated to the goddess Athena, who was the goddess of war. Inside this temple, there were beautiful paintings and sculptures, and everyone was walking around admiring it, except for Medusa, who was walking around and whispering things like, "Well, I would have been a better subject for that," or, "Well, that painting's very nice, but nothing matches my beauty." The villagers began to hear her and started getting really worried and mumbling and whispering amongst themselves because no one insults the goddess Athena like that. Finally, Medusa reached the altar where this big, giant statue of Athena was, beautiful marble. And she sat down and she said, "Such a shame this temple is dedicated to Athena. I myself am much prettier and deserve this far more." Gasps went around the crowd, afraid that Medusa's words would anger the goddess Athena. In their fear, all of the villagers left the temple, leaving Medusa alone by herself. But she didn't notice. She was only ever obsessed with herself anyway, so she was just continuing to look in her mirror and look up at the statue and look at the... When suddenly, her reflection in her hand mirror shifted and turned into the goddess Athena. Her face was speaking to her out of the mirror. And she said, "Vain and foolish girl, how dare you insult me like that?" And Medusa tried to defend herself by saying, "Well, Athena, I am the most beautiful in the land, you know this." Or something like that. And Athena, angered at her insults and believing that this woman was far too vain to go unpunished, cast a spell on Medusa, turning her hair into snakes and shifting her whole face, the thing that she cared the most about, that she was the proudest of her beauty, into an ugly, hideous monster's face. And Athena said, "Medusa, anyone who lays eyes on your face now will be so terrified that they will turn to stone." And Athena left, leaving Medusa a hideous monster. So now that we know how Medusa got her snake hair and hideous monster face, we're going to play a little game. So I'm going to have you get up on your feet and we're going to do some Greek myth movement together. Now, there is a chance that Medusa may sneak onto the screen at any moment while we're doing our movement. When she does that, I freeze and I stop moving and I turn into a stone statue until she leaves. And the same goes for you. If you see Medusa on the screen, you have to freeze in whatever position you are as a stone statue. And then when she leaves, you have to crumble to the ground and get back up before we start moving again. There is only one way to avoid this fate. Luckily, Medusa makes a lot of noise before she comes on the screen. So if you hear this, you know that she's coming. And if you want to avoid turning into a stone statue, you can cover your eyes and wait for her to leave. But remember, if you see Medusa, if you see her snake hair, you have to freeze like a stone statue. And as soon as she leaves the screen, you come back to life by crumbling and then getting back up so we can keep moving. All right, let's do it. Awesome, great. So now we can begin our Greek myth movement time. If you'd like, you're welcome to have a mat or a towel like I do, but it's absolutely not necessary. I'm just going to lead you through a couple really basic poses and movements, and you just have to remember to watch out for Medusa. All right, let's get started. So you can start by standing with your feet hip width apart, like you're a big, tall mountain, and take a deep breath in. And I'm actually going to stand at the top of my mat over here. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in and come down to the ground. You can touch your thighs or your knees or your shins or your toes if you can reach that far. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. And on our exhale, take the right foot and bring it all the way back into a lunge with your knee on the ground. And rise up. And then we're going to come onto our hands, lift that knee up, and spiral up just like Athena. So this is like the warrior, the goddess of war, Athena. She's super cool, she's super strong. And she has to watch out to make sure that there aren't any other threats around here. So switch to the other side and whoop, don't fall. And then you can come back to normal, hands up high, and come back down to that lunge. Awesome. Now you're going to take your left knee and bring it back. Move your knees back a little bit, and then we're going to go down into the cobra pose. So just like the snakes on Medusa's head, we're going to start with our chest leading, go down to the ground, and come up like you're a snake. You can even hiss like a snake if you want to. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to curl our toes under, push our hips up, and come back into downward dog. And you can just take a couple deep breaths here. Whew, this can be a little tiresome. Stretch it out. And then we're going to take our right foot, lift it up really high in the sky, and bring it forward up between our hands. And again, come up like Athena. So remember, you're a warrior, you're the goddess of war, you're super strong, and you have to watch both sides. So flip to this side and make sure no one's over there. Good, you're safe. All right, come back up. We're gonna bring that knee to the ground, come down to this little lunge, and then take a big step forward, up to forward fold again. Kind of shake out your neck a little bit. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to really slowly roll up. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And here we are. Congratulations! Even if you turn into a stone statue a few times, you have officially survived our Greek myth movement time. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And finally, from my living room to yours, let's make some theater.